And we're rolling on sound. We're rolling on video. I'm not rolling. I'm mostly sober. I've hit my weed pen a little bit, but mostly sober. Hi, hotties. Hey, hotties. Hey, thotties, friends, family, countrymen. I am back. It's a solo episode today. How are you guys? It's a rainy day in LA and I'm quite cold and shivering. And while we were setting up, producer Ezra had the door open because he said it's stuffy in here. It might be a little stuffy, but I'm a cold girl. Hi, everyone. That was a long intro. I hope you guys had a chance to check out last week's podcast. I had my friend Christina on from TikTok. I thought she did great. It was maybe a little bit of a longer episode, but I love chatting with her. I want to have her on more. And if there's any other like TikTokers or content creators you think I should, let me know. Let's make it happen. It was honestly such a great Bravo week. Like when I was watching everything, I took notes on everything and I was like, I don't know what to talk about on the show. Because again, I don't like to do 4-hour recaps, especially solo. I try to pick the two like best or most like what I think is the most must-see television of the week on Bravo. That's kind of like my thinking when you're like, last week you talked about Southern Charm and this week you didn't. And I'm like, yeah, because this week Southern Charm was a filler. Actually, this week's Southern Charm wasn't a filler. It was quite crazy, but I'm not talking about today because I was so happy that it's an Atlanta day. Atlanta is back. Real Housewives of Atlanta was like, I think the second franchise I fell in love with, but they kind of like set the standard. Like Beverly Hills was my first, and I used to hate the reunions for Beverly Hills. And I think it's because those first couple seasons, it's like abuse, you know, you're like, this is rough, you know? But Atlanta, like, I would just want to watch the reunion sometimes. Like these women are just, I'm so obsessed with them. I'm so obsessed with them. So we're going to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta today and Summer House. And of course, we'll gossip. Okay, so finally, I think they've been off for 2 years, but we're back. Real Housewives Atlanta, season 16. We've been off for a couple years. So we have Porsha. I missed Porsha so much. And I'm glad we're just picking up in like the midst of chaos. I love that about her. Shamea finally has her peach, and honey, she is rich. I had no idea Shamea was so rich. I assumed she was just like a hustler, a working girl, not in like a cult girl, but she like was a hustler. She works a lot. No, her husband is rich. Their house, $9 million, the biggest sale in Atlanta. I was like, holy shit. And apparently the inside is like production had been trying to get Shamea to have a peach for a long time. She kept saying no because of her husband. Interesting. Every single woman on Atlanta is just so beautiful. And I was like, you know, Married to Medicine, like some of those cast members said the women of Atlanta were too, you know, fake looking and plump, but like comparatively to all the other Bravo shows I was watching, I was like, oh my God, these women have like natural bodies in the sense of like they're not on Ozempic and they're not all skinny, so they don't make me hate myself watching them. I just watch these women, I'm like, oh my God, they're like so beautiful. The fashion sense in Atlanta is like insane. It's so unique to Atlanta, but I'm like, they all look so good. Shamea has a big family and we see her with her. Shamea says she is the female Jamie Foxx, which I'm reading Garcelle's book right now, and she's talking a lot about being on the Jamie Foxx show, obviously. I was like, interesting. So Shamea has 2 little girls, and they have like a little bit of an age gap. I think she said her oldest was like 5 or 6, and then her smallest is about a year old. Her youngest has medical complications, but she continues to want to grow their family because she loves being a mom. In the story Shamea told in her confessional meeting her husband, and I think she said she did a symphony on the toilet and the next time she came back he had wipes for her. That is like why I love Atlanta and what I love about them. Like Shamea's love her. But yeah, Shamea's truly like the glue of the group now. I think a role maybe Nene had in the past, or Cynthia, Porsha. Now it's Shamea, and I kind of am obsessed with it. And I made a video on TikTok this week talking about like, I love Shamea, da da da. And someone commented on it, was like, I met Shamea, I used to work with her, and she's like so kind and nice and so deserving. So I feel a little bit better because it seems like she's like well loved. Watch me though, like get comments on this video being like, here are all the awful things Shamea's done. So, you know, people are, there's not black, white, there's gray. So we see Drew and the kids at home. The divorce with Ralph is not going well, and he's been banished to the basement. I kind of love it because he should have always been banished somewhere. I'm whispering because I'm scared of Ralph. He's going to pop out of a corner and start gaslighting me. He'll be over there and be like, no, I never cheated on Drew. Okay, Drew. Okay, Ralph. And then Kenya comes over to Drew's house. We finally see her daughter on camera. Did anyone else clock that? Because in the past, Kenya's baby daddy didn't let her daughter like be seen on camera, but I guess that got worked out. They talk about the banishing to the basement, and Drew tries to open up a lot about the divorce to Kenya. Like, it's not amicable. It's like a bad divorce. It's really, really bad. Drew and Ralph only communicate on this parenting app that the judge can watch. And I guess Ralph is just like middle finger emojis, talking all crazy. And Drew's like, I try to keep it together because the judge can see it. Good job, Drew. And then Drew talks about how she's doing music again. Yay. But with Porsha's baby daddy, Dennis. And then I love the shade Kenya throws right back. She was like, Dennis does music? How long has he been doing music? Why didn't he help Porsha do a song? Because Porsha had a song that didn't really take off. But Porsha's actually one of the better singers on Housewives. So I would love her. And I think Drew can sing too. But Porsha has a good voice, you know? And then we see Kelly and her 4 daughters at this like tea birthday party. So Kelly is a single mom. She is an entrepreneur. She has 4 daughters, and she's going through also like a bad divorce. She has a waffle business. I know it sounds silly, but she owns like a chicken and waffle shop, and then she has like a cookbook and like a mix, and like, so she's an entrepreneur. She's also like so pretty. So pretty. But it's her daughter's 17th birthday, so naturally she gets her 17 designer bags. Duh, like we're on Housewives. What else? I wonder if she would have done that if they weren't on the show, but maybe that is like their lifestyle. Then we see Porsha. We see Porsha going to see the same divorce lawyer, but that scene of her just like in the elevator and her butt sticks and she's trying to look cute and professional, but she has on this like tiny little skirt, and then like the elevator like goes like into her butt. So it's like, like that is comedy. Like Porsha Williams or Lucille Ball, like truly, like I was obsessed. And they did that scene as like a sneak peek a few weeks ago, and that made me so excited for the season. I love, like, if you're not a Porsha fan, you probably shouldn't listen to my recaps because I love her so much. So Porsha has the same divorce lawyer, but she said she did a prenup this time. She was smart. She's protecting those assets because she has a daughter. And Portia's a lot of things, but she is a great mom, and she's going to do everything to protect Pilar. She said basically Simon's a fraudster. He kept all the finances away from her. And then one day she came home and her house was getting foreclosed. And she was like, Simon, you need to tell me what's going on. And he was like, And she's like, you know what? I'm all filed for divorce to protect these assets. But now Simon's keeping her from filming in the home, which is keeping her from getting income on the show. Very interesting in how they broke the fourth wall with that. I liked it. Then we see Shamea, Brittany, and Kelly go out to dinner. It's a little newbie dinner. I liked it. They all could hold their own. And we're not that far along into the episode yet. And we see them really like I knew who each of them were and could identify them and their stories very, very quickly. I think it was smart for them to have Shamea, who's not unfamiliar to us. Like, we know who Shamea is. We've known her for a long time. So Brittany is an insurance agent, and her ring is huge and gorgeous, but just doesn't fit her tiny little hands. They all take these shots, and they are, like, huge shots. Like, I saw the shots and saw them throw it back. I was like, oh, not me. I couldn't do that. So then Kelly throws shade about Porsha stealing Simon from Phelan. But Shamea sticks up for Porsha, and I love this. Like, I hope Shamea sticks to this, like, and is true to that part of herself and her friendship. And don't, not call Porsha out if she's wrong, but also, that's your girl. Kelly's boobs are rock hard in the scene. And I was like listening to what Shamea is saying, but also, like, staring at her boobs because they looked like these, like, oily rocks that, like, at her chin. And I say this in admiration to your boobs, Kelly. I mean, you have 4 daughters. They look great. Brittany says that Dennis and Drew are dating, and somebody saw them holding hands at the club. I don't think it's true, though. They left us on a cliffhanger at the end of the episode, but I don't think it's true because I heard Cynthia kind of be like, yeah, wasn't that crazy? We all thought that was true. I'm like, Cynthia, you spoiled it for us. It's okay. You're really pretty, so I forgive you. With all these women, like, I'll forgive them so easily. Like, it's okay. I like looking at you. You're so pretty. So Brittany says she went on a date with Dennis a long time ago, and he gave her a diamond. And she also said she was a video vixen in high school. Very interesting. My roommate, when we were watching it together, she was like, what's a video vixen? And I was like, I think it's like a girl in a music video. And she was like, oh, I thought it was like a porn star. And I was like, no, I think it's like a music video girl. Because I'm like, she's saying she was in high school. I don't say, think those are the same things. Porsha and Shamea then go to the strip club. Love the scene. This scene feels like girlhood to me. I'm obsessed with it. Love it. You can feel the years of history between them. Like, when Shamea in that one scene, she was like, Porsha's the one who told me to how to shape my vagina. I was like, oh my God, that feels like being like 12 years old, Like, girl, shave that. And then while they're at the strip club, they talk about how Simon reached out to Shamea, and Porsha's like, don't talk to him. Don't call him bro. That's Simon. We don't associate with him anymore. And then it was also interesting because I guess Simon reached out to congratulate her on her peach, which is basically being like, I saw the announcement in the media. So that was also like an interesting fourth wall break. The girls then all get ready for Shamea's birthday party. So I guess Shamea asked Kelly to come over earlier because she's like, hey, did not like how you were to my girl. Like, don't do that. And Kelly's like, okay, for sure, girl. Got you. And then I found this interesting. So Shamea says her money, her and her husband's money really, comes from HVAC. Interesting. Producer Ezra, figure out how to do that. HVAC, I don't know what it is, but you should do it because they have a $9 billion house. That'll pay for my podcast. So then we meet Angela Oakley. So she's married to a former basketball player. Her husband's really hot. She's really pretty. I like them a lot as a couple. She has like a very interesting quality to her. Like Andy said on the radio, she's like Sheree, and I don't really see that. But there is like a quirkiness that's like, I don't know. I'm excited to see her. Her husband low-key is hot though. Like he looks like an older man, but he's like aging very like gracefully and beautifully. Drew arrives and she looks beautiful. But then Charles goes up to Angela and he's like, you need to fix your wig. And she's just like, you're right, I'm sweating it off. I'm like, oh my God, could he have done it in a more low-key way? So then Kenya arrives. It's weird to see her because she was obviously supposed to be a peach holder and now she's like cut down to this weird guest role, like not even a friend of, like a guest. So then it's kind of established like most of the girls are divorced. Kenya asks Brittany about her ring, and like she's very offended because she's like, that ring looks like it's falling off. Where's your second ring? Da 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 da. But Porsha's late. Porsha, where are you? Shamea is your best friend. She is your ride or die. Shamea's out here sticking up for you and you can't even get here on time. Girl. Then Shamea's husband gives her a Rolls Royce. This car, $4,300,000. Almost $500,000 car. Like, holy shit. Cynthia then says in her confessional, if her marriage, she got those kind of gifts, she'd probably still be married. Which I was like, yeah, I could see that. Because, you know, Peter never got her any new car, anything nice. Like, he could barely pay for their wedding. Like, no, I don't think he could pay for their wedding. But then Porsha gets there late. She definitely interrupts Shamea's moment. I'm like, not a fan. And then Porsha's like, well, I'm late because of traffic. There's traffic all over the city. Like, I know you live in Atlanta. There's a lot of traffic. But I live in LA. I get heavy traffic. You plan for the traffic. If there's going to be 2 hours of traffic, you should have been ready to leave earlier. You just should have. You know? That's being kind and respectful. So then Porsha walks over to the girls and Kelly's opening line is like, hey, why'd you steal that girl's man? And Porsha's like, who are you? Do I know you? What's your last name? That's not a good opener. So the girls go upstairs and it ends on a cliffhanger about the whole like Drew and Dennis thing. Like, did they hook up? Did they not hook up? Overall, great opening episode. Porsha was on Watch What Happens Live with Law Roach after. Also great episode. Loved them. It filled me with joy. And Atlanta, like last season was not good. We can all say it was not a good last season. But overall, so out of 16 seasons, they had like at least 14 amazing. And I think they're coming in and going to have another great one. Very, very happy for them.
Beep, 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 beep. We're interrupting your regularly scheduled recap for this Bravo news.
Okay, so Nene Leakes said she's doing her own show on YouTube officially, like her own reality show, I think. She also said she's not watching Housewives. So Nene is not watching Housewives, but she's also not impressed with the Housewives. So the new VPR cast will start filming in April. It's about 14 new cast members, some full-time, some friends of. I do have some friends that are kind of in and around it. They said it's pretty interesting cast. So I'm excited to see. And the Valley will be returning April 14th. There's a lot going on with the Valley cast. Like, if you're getting excited for it like I am, I've been like kind of pre-gaming the Valley season with all their podcasts. So I've been listening to Brittany's podcast, which it's officially just hers. Jax now has his own. Been listening to Janet and Jared and Jason over on Theirs Is Like This Side of the Hill. So a lot going on. So I'm very excited for them to be back. It looks like a really good season. So now we're going to talk about Summer House. We're on season 9, episode 5. I can't believe we're 5 episodes in. It's so good. Summer House. So I'm happy Atlanta's back, but obviously it's the opening episode. We're not in it yet. Summer House, we're in it, and it's making me happy. It's bringing me joy. Thank you to the cast of Summer House. So it kind of opens up with Paige and Kyle still like trying to work out their fight at the beach. Everyone's kind of watching on and they're like, the body language doesn't look good. Because really, if you look at the whole cast of Summer House, Paige and Kyle are two fiery individuals. Paige said she feels disrespected by Kyle, and Kyle says he feels stabbed in the back by Craig. He admits he was wrong for how he acted to Paige. So that's pretty much squashed between them. Now Craig is coming next week. So there's going to be a whole nother era of like drama and all that. Paige says, though, she doesn't think Kyle and Craig will ever be the same. And now that they've been broken up for a little while and things weren't so nice in the media, I don't think Kyle and Craig are friends at all anymore, y'all. I think that friendship has sailed. Did you guys catch, though, on this week of Southern Charm, the scene with Austin, Craig, and Paige that Austin was drinking a Spritz Society? Because I definitely did. Craig's like, all right, you're going to drink Loverboy all the time? I'll open a Spritz Society. Also, another thing, and I know I'm not recapping Southern Charm, but I kind of find Craig's branding confusing right now. Because he's saying he's sober and he doesn't drink. Why is he then the face of an alcohol company. Like, are you just trying to drink less? Like, I don't know. The language is confusing me. So yeah, back to Summer House. The girls then are all on the beach and they're like talking about their boobs. And you can see Lexi's just like fuming with insecurity and rage. It feels like rage. She says she feels insecure about her boobs though due to modeling, and she was always told like, oh, you won't work for certain clients because of your boobs. I really think the fact that Lexi was like a model from a really young age is why she feels so immature and insecure to us. Because I know she's 27, but she reads to me like a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, like someone who's like barely legal. And I think that's why. And then she talked a lot about how she like parties only with her family. Well, if you're not around people your own age, you don't see how your peers are maturing in relation to you, you know? Lindsay explains her baby daddy doesn't live with her, and Danielle questions her about it, which this part was really weird to me because I feel like Danielle knew all the answers to these questions, but just wanted to bring it up on camera to like shame Lindsay. It just didn't feel like a girl's girl moment. Danielle says she doesn't want Lindsay to feel like a single mom, but Lindsay's like, no, I'm being smart in this situation. I've moved way too fast. And obviously I'm like 6 months pregnant into a 7-month relationship, but like, it's all good. Jesse though, Jesse's like really freaking out about Lexi's jealousy, but he really likes her. Like, I think his like for her is so genuine. And he talks to Wes about it. And like, he's like, Wes, like, I know you're going out and having sex. Just like, be open. And Wes is just trying to be respectful to Sierra. Wes, I think you were a smart man for not listening to Jesse. Like, follow this instinct of like shutting your fucking mouth. And I say that with love and with compassion. Great job on Watch What Happens Live this week. You also did great. Wasn't a fan of the shoes, but the rest of the outfit was amazing. He also like basically talks about how he wants to not hurt Sierra, but like still have fun. And I hate how douchey Wes has become, but I'm still kind of attracted to him, you guys. Like, I didn't think I was, because I know last time I was like, when I saw him in person, he just felt like so douchey and uncool. But like seeing his body on the beach, I don't know, something about his body, I was like, he's kind of hot. Like the dad bod, it's like, fuck, I'm attracted. I just like could see myself like being like, wanting to flirt with him, being like, he's just so funny and like cute and like, yeah, god damn it. It's always those guys, you know? So they get back to the house and kind of do all their check-ins with each other and take their showers. Wes, Carl, Amanda, Jesse, and Paige go out to dinner. Danielle goes to a party and everyone else stays home, and then they all go out later. So then Kyle tells Sierra about making up with Paige, and Kyle says, like, everything's good, we're all good, but I'm so nervous about Craig. And Sierra's like, yeah, I see why. And I kind of love, since Paige and Craig's breakup, Sierra's been defending her girl. She's like, Craig is crazy. Everyone listen to Sierra, the best dressed girl in Summer House. Oops, I said it. Sorry, Paige, but like, have you seen Sierra? Kyle brings up Craig getting kicked out of his wedding and said Craig lied about it. This will probably be a feud about the wedding for years, and it's kind of boring. Like, I get it, valid point, Kyle, but that's so like, how long have you been married? So the dinner crew goes out. Paige said in another timeline, her and Jesse are married, but she's cheating on Jesse with Carl in the pantry. Good throwback to season 3, right? And it was interesting seeing the old house they used to always be in. Carl says he's not dating and he hasn't had sex since Lindsay. The boys are shocked. They're gagged. They're like, what? Like, literally, you could see Wes was like, not having sex in a year, what the fuck? And then they're like, oh, they have a Brazzers subscription. Carl, Wes, Jesse, go try and get an ad with them, because you just gave them a free ad on the show. Talking about all the different kinds of porn. I'm learning. I didn't know about this HD porn Wes spoke of. Good to know. But Carl says he thinks he's ready, and I think he is too. Carl announced he has a memoir coming out in December. And then he commented, because I made like a little video on Instagram about it, and he commented on it and was like, I'm going to send you an advance read. And we've been DMing, and Carl is so kind. Huge Carl fan. Paige asks Wes if he's single, and then he tells them about his interview dating show with Complex and how he's interviewing the, what was her name, Ezra? The Hawktua girl. Yeah, he's interviewing the Hawktua girl. Wes says he's so busy and has so much going on that he can't even recycle. He doesn't even have time to recycle. So how could he date? Wes, I think you could make time to recycle. I believe in you. Lexi told Jesse he has exactly 1 month to decide if he wants to be with her. And I was like, girl knows what she wants. At least though, she's like, okay, these are my boundaries. These are my standards. No, to thy known self be true. Then everyone goes out. They all go to the bar. Wes got the bottle service girls to bring a sign that said congrats, Lexi and Jesse, which I thought was hilarious. And everyone except for Carl and Lindsay, obviously, came home and they looked like pretty drunk. And I was like, okay, this is funny. Emerald brings another girl home and it's funny. He is bringing this girl in and everyone else is in the living room definitely making the apple TikToks like, I think the apple's rotten down to the core. And the funniest part was like when Amanda was like, come on, Kyle. Like it was like long-term marriage, like making TikToks, new thing in the bedroom. So Emerald has perfected the art of covering the camera when the girls come in, but not keeping it there. Now, is the bed shaking? Is the room shaking? I don't know. I wasn't there. Obviously, these girls aren't signing release waivers, though, because we're not seeing them at all. We're seeing no faces. Danny Pellegrino had a great theory this week that since these girls aren't signing waivers, that Emerald's bringing back that production is reenacting them coming in and leaving and like not showing their face. So we're not even seeing the bodies of these girls. We might just be seeing the PAs on set. So in Pillow Talk, Jessie explains to Lexi that she needs to be secure and she tries to explain her insecurities, but I'm with Jessie on this. Like you can have these insecurities or things where you lack confidence, but it's not on your partner to fix that within yourself. They're all kind of hanging out by the pool and then Emerald comes out last and they all kind of start to grill him. And then he talks about how he was undocumented until he was 23. And kind of a great moment. If you haven't seen the episode, definitely watch this scene because he said at first, I was illegal until he was 23. And then Kyle cut in and I was like, Kyle, what are you going to say? And he goes, you mean you were undocumented? And then it kind of gave Emerald like a tool in the space to see that he was safe and like they all really listened to him. And he got married really, really young and he was monogamous in that relationship and really, really loved her. And that's how he eventually got, how he's here now. Jessie talks to Sierra about, kind of the talk he had with Lexi. And she's like, yeah, he's like, Lexi said I'm a boob guy. And Sierra with a straight face goes, well, that's not true. You're also obsessed with Paige. Subtle shade. Sierra says she doesn't have a crush on Jessie, but she loves to giggle with him. But the chemistry between them in that moment, it was like it felt like they're on level playing field, like with Jessie and Lexi. I know their age gap is probably 4 or 5 years, but it feels like 10 years, truly. Then we see Paige and Craig go on a date in the city, and Paige goes, I don't have time to freeze my eggs, much alone have kids. And Craig's in the conversation being like, I really want you to prioritize our relationship. And I know you're successful and I'm successful. But he's like, he tells her if she's busy this all the time, he won't be happy. And the conversation, he's like, I'm not telling you to slow down. I love how successful you are, but you need to slow down. Why doesn't he slow down? If they're equally as busy and he's unhappy, they can't be together all the time, he should slow down and follow her around like a lost puppy because that's what he seems like he wants. And Paige says she feels like Craig wants a slow life and she does not want a slow life. And then Craig says he never saw himself being so submissive and giving up the decision making. But yeah, I did not like that Craig in that scene. It's interesting because in that scene on Summer House, I did not like Craig and I was like, you're such an asshole. But on Southern Charm this week in the scene with Paige, Craig, and Austin, I did not like Paige. So the editors, they be editing. The producers be producing. So just keep that all in mind. People are people. But yeah, it's a fun episode, you guys. We have a lot going on. I'm sad Southern Hospitality's gone, but hopeful for things to come back. You can always find me on all things social media, TikTok, Instagram. I'll be making content, talking to people. But yeah, thank you for listening and bye guys.